Well, this is a car lighter. Interestingly enough, you might have expected it to look a little differently, maybe not. But this is actually an old car lighter from the 80s. These are actually really old. A lot of people wouldn't know what these are, but these are actually what the car charger plugins that we use in our cars now. This is what they were originally made for. This was what they were originally only intended to be used for, and then someone invented those little adapters and completely repurposed them. But this used to be their only use. And this right here, you don't know if you can tell, but this is the second part. This is a piece inside another piece. Now when you squeeze it, it's not working really well. But there we go, it closed. There we go. Now that lip is back. It's because that metal slid inside, which puts the coil right up at the end. I'll try and let it focus here for a second. It's not wanting to focus, that's irritating. There we go. Now it's level with the end, basically, more than usual. And when you put it into the charger, you push the back end in, pops out, and those two lugs on the side that are actually inside the charger grab a hold of this metal right here, and then there's a pin in the middle of the charger. It's at the very front. It touches that little piece of rusty metal right there in the middle. And this is actually like a giant watch spring inside here, but it's made of a metal called nichrome. It's a mixture of nickel and chromium. And when you put electricity through it, these are actually 12-volt chargers, but the 12 volts is enough to make that turn red hot in a few seconds. And when this thing is in there, that little thing heats up, and then once it gets so hot, those little two pins retract and pops out a little bit. And when you have this in there, all you can see is this. But when that thing is in there, it'll look like that, and when it's done, it'll go like that. You hear a loud click. When you pull it out, this is the interesting part, because it's got this part caught, that part that I originally slid out, well, it's going to pop out. I can actually get it to come back out. It's hard to get it to pop out if I don't have it actually in the charger. One second. I'm going to try it this way. There you go. Now you can see the space in here. And now, one second. Now, that coil is safely tucked down inside a piece of metal. I can push up on it. That is level. And it's got this nice little, about, I would say, a nice sized distance in there. And what that is it's actually a safety precaution, because I can set it up against my finger and I can't touch the coil. And what it does is you can set it down on something and that coil won't be able to touch it, because that thing is going to be red hot. You don't want to be able to touch it down on something. Most of the time people just stick it in the charger with it like that and don't push in on it. Just set it in there just a little bit and it'll just sit there just fine. And what this is you actually stick the open end of your cigarette in there while it's in your mouth, and that red hot part is enough to actually start a fire on the end of the cigarette. And it doesn't actually start a fire, it just heats it up enough to where it'll start burning. It doesn't actually make an open flame. Well, maybe depending on what you touch to it, it might, but when you touch a cigarette to it, it'll just start it turning into amber, so it won't actually make a flame like the modern lighters do. But this is neat because this was originally standard in cars in the 1980s, and a lot of people don't even know what this is. But you can go to a junkyard or something, find a car from the 1980s, and this will just be sticking in the dashboard. Just look for the little cigarette logo on it, and You can pull it out, and you have to look at this part and make sure that's clean. You just poke it in your charger, squeeze it in there, wait for it to pop out, just grab it, yank it out, and then you can just touch your cigarette to it, puff puff, and then you just keep it going from there. I actually went and got this for my sister because she smokes, I don't. But I went and got this for her because hers is broken. The nichrome in hers kind of burned out, and it's not actually like common. It's just hers, like nichrome was heated up too many times, because after you use these like 1,000 times, that nichrome disconnects from the metal inside you, and you just have to go get a new one. If you want these in cars, you actually have to special order these now. They don't come standard anymore because people don't smoke like they used to. But yeah, I thought that was pretty neat, and not a lot of people know what these are, so just felt like telling some people what this is. If you ever find one, now you know what it is. Usually, I think around 1985 is about when they stopped making these standard. They also used to have ashtrays in cars too, because people used to smoke in their cars all the time. People still do, but it was considered normal back then for people to smoke all the time. Interestingly enough, a nice little interesting fact: the first country to ever, well, the first group to ever start anti-smoking campaigns was actually the Nazis. They made it illegal to smoke on subways and public buses because they didn't want to subject people to it, because certain people thought it was disgusting and nasty and just not right. Well, let you get back to whatever you're doing now. Bye. Like, subscribe, whatever. This is Thor90, and I'm saying goodbye.